We want to take you now to Capitol Hill Live, where the House Civil Rights and Civil Liberties Subcommittee is holding a hearing on the treatment of migrant children at the border. The woman they're speaking to right now is Yazmin Juárez, a mother whose toddler died in ICE custody. Let's listen in.
For having the strength to come forward to tell about these horrific events that have taken place. If you're okay taking a few questions, I just have one or two, and then I'll turn to the ranking member to see if he has any, and if any other members of the committee have anything that they want to ask you. In fact, let me start with you, Mr. Roy. We've gone over with the witness, and I'm happy to donate the lion's share of my time to the witness's presentation. Do you have anything you'd like to ask?
Ms. Juárez, I would just reiterate the statement of the chairman and the statement that I tried to open with, that you said it, no hay palabras. There are no words, and very thankful for your faith and for your blessing upon us, and for your courage in being here, and thank you for being here.
Ms. Juárez, our country is a nation of immigrants, except for the descendants of slaves and the Native Americans. All of us are here as immigrants or the descendants of immigrants. And our ancestors, our parents, our grandparents saw America as a land of hope and dreams and opportunity. And I know that you can't talk specifically about what you left behind in Guatemala for legal reasons, and your lawyers have advised you not to get into the detail there. But I wonder if you would talk to us about what America represented to you, what moved you to try to get to America with Maria when you came.
Claro que sí. Como bien lo decía, Estados Unidos es un país lleno de oportunidades, de trabajo, de médicos muy importantes. Como dicen en mi país, el sueño americano de todo mundo. Mi anhelo de traerme a mi hija para acá, el propósito era poderla sacar adelante, verla crecer, hacer todas las cosas que yo no pude hacer en mi país con ella acá. Acá es un país libre, vuelvo y repito, un país lleno de oportunidades. Tenía muchos sueños, muchos anhelos con mi niña, muchísimos, no se imaginan. Pero hoy sí puedo hacer la diferencia, la puedo hacer. No me va a caber la menor duda de hacerlo. Eso es lo que a mí representa Estados Unidos para mí. Un lugar de sueños, oportunidades, trabajo, libertad, ante todo.
Yes, of course. As you said, the United States is the land of opportunity, work, important doctors. And in my country, they say, the American dream. So my wish and the purpose of bringing my child here was to move forward with her, to have her grow, and to be able to give her all of the things that I would not be able to give her in my country. Because this is a country of freedom and opportunities. We had so many wishes and dreams when we came here, you can't imagine. But now I will definitely make that difference that the U.S. represents. It represents that dream and opportunity and work and freedom above everything else.
Thank you. I'm going to call on Ms. Maloney from New York, and members, we're in sort of a modified 5-minute rule. Obviously, the witness has been through a lot, but if there's 1 or 2 questions you'd like to ask, I think that works out well. Ms. Maloney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Ms. Juárez. This was very difficult to hear your testimony, and I know it was even more difficult to give your testimony. So why are you here in what is such an obviously painful experience for you to remember the horror of what your Marie went through? Why are you here?
Estoy aquí hoy porque quiero que todas las personas de todo el mundo, de todos los países, en especial en Estados Unidos, podamos hacer el cambio, podamos hacer la diferencia para cuidar y proteger más a los niños. En los centros de detenciones como ICE, es un lugar terrible y no es un lugar adecuado para tener a niños encerrados, como si fueran animales. Es muy duro decirlo. Creo que hoy estoy acá, vuelvo y repito, quiero hacer la diferencia, quiero ayudar a muchos niños en memoria de mi hija Marie. Quiero hacer esto posible, en que si se puede hacer el cambio con mi corazón, con todo mi corazón, yo lo haría.
I'm here today because I want to tell all people of all the world, in all countries, especially in the United States, that we need to make a change and make a difference to actually care and protect kids more. ICE detention centers are terrible, inadequate places to lock children up, I'm sorry to say, as if they were animals. It is difficult to have to say that, but I repeat that I'm here because I want to make a difference to help more children in the name and in the memory of Marie. And if it's possible to make that difference and to make that change, but believe me, I want that to happen.
You described...
Ms. Maloney, forgive me, I've learned that votes are about to be called in a moment. Would you be willing to cede to some other members so everybody could ask a question? Would that be okay?
Yes.
And I'll just recognize them. I saw Ms. Tlaib, you had your hand. If you would like to ask a question, Ms. Wasserman-Schultz, Ms. Ocasio-Cortez, and Ms. Presley.
Thank you, Chairman. Ms. Juárez, thank you so much for being here. I wanted to ask, it's so important because you in many ways experienced something that we saw ourselves in many ways when we went to El Paso, but you referred to it as the ice box. You also talked about your daughter not getting access to care and so forth. Would you talk a little bit more about the conditions that you and your daughter were in? I think it would be really helpful for my colleagues to understand how it felt. You know, sometimes you don't think about this, but the food. When I went there, people were just like sleeping, just constantly laying down, and the children were jumping on top of the body. You know, the kids were energetic and jumping around. They were all again in the same facility. I think it's really important to talk about your experience while you were in our care.
Ya, claro. Cuando yo ingresé a las instalaciones de detención de ICE, nos pasaron al cuarto por una noche. Estaba muy frío. Pasamos toda una madrugada durmiendo en el suelo, en el piso de concreto, donde solo nos daban unas cobijas, le llaman ellos, que eran color grises, como bien lo mostraban en la foto. Ellos le llaman cobija a eso. Para mí no es eso, para mí no es eso. La comida no era la adecuada para un niño. No tiene nada de nutrientes que pueda con la salud de los niños. No tienen la higiene adecuada para un niño. Supongo que la comida pasa por muchas manos en la cual pueden tener variedades de bacterias y eso enferma a un niño, lo enferma a uno como adulto. Los niños no tienen las suficientes defensas para poder soportar una enfermedad tan grande. La experiencia que yo viví en Daily, al principio María era una niña feliz. En mi país María era una niña saludable. Bendito sea Dios, ella no pasó por una enfermedad grave, nunca. Hasta el momento que yo llegué a Estados Unidos fue que empezó a enfermar. Alrededor habían cientos de personas, niños y adultos enfermos. Y a mí me dolía verlos, tener que ver a cientos de personas haciendo fila para tener una atención, para poder tener una consulta, para poder ver al médico. Muchas personas como yo tuvimos que devolvernos a nuestras habitaciones y no recibimos ayuda médica. Creo que eso es lo más negligente que tiene las detenciones de ICE. Deberían de poner un poco más atención y tener el control, aumentar más el control sobre la salud de los niños, que esa es la prioridad. Tendría que ser la prioridad de ellos.
Sure. When I was admitted into the ICE detention facility, we spent a very cold night, that entire early morning, sleeping on concrete with this gray thing. They said it was a blanket, but it's so-called blanket, but it's not that for me. The food was not appropriate for a child. It didn't have the proper nutrients for the health of a child, nor the proper hygienic situation. It looks like the food went through many hands, and that could just be many more germs then that could make a child sick or an adult sick. And children don't really have the natural defenses to be able to ward off any kind of serious illnesses. And in my experience with Marie, she was a happy, healthy child, thank God, when we were back in our country. She didn't suffer any serious illnesses until we got here into the United States. But in the detention facility, there were hundreds of people who were sick, children and adults. And it was very difficult to see that. It was very difficult to see hundreds of people standing in line, trying to be seen for a medical consult. And what happened to me and many other people is that we had to go back and be turned away without receiving that kind of help. And that
You've been listening to a hearing on the conditions of migrant children face when they're taken into ICE custody. We want to clear up one fact. A key witness in the hearing is Yazmin Juárez. She's a mother whose 19-year-old daughter developed a respiratory infection. 19-month daughter developed a respiratory infection while in ICE custody. The child died after being released, and Juárez said that she's speaking today so that other families don't have to suffer the loss of a child.